Hello, friends. It's me, Eleanor. I turned 76 this year. It's such a strange number. Sometimes I even startle myself just saying it out loud. This is me on my 60th birthday. Look at that smile. My hair was only just starting to gray, and my skin still had a bit of a glow. Back then, I was so full of confidence. I thought I had all the time in the world. I'm sure you've heard the media, magazines, and TV chanting this slogan endlessly: 60 is the new 40. They lull us into believing that 60 is a fresh start, a time to let loose and live like we're young again. Now that the kids are grown, it is a sweet lie. But believe me, it is also the most dangerous one. The harsh truth is, 60 is not 40. Your body is no longer a 40-year-old body, and your time is certainly not as abundant as it was at 40. Why? Because what you do or what you are too lazy to do in this decade will completely determine how you experience your 70 seconds and 80 seconds. Will you live your final years in peace and freedom? Or will you live them in pain, sickness, and filled with regret, just like me? I made so many mistakes. I wasted so much time. And today, I want to share with you 10 things I wish I had known sooner, so that you never have to say those two painful words, if only. The first regret, and the lesson I paid the highest price for, is my physical health. At 60, I was still moving around just fine. I was complacent. I thought, oh, a gentle stroll around the park is enough for me. I'm old. Why on earth would I need to lift weights or do squats? I was lazy, and I pampered myself. But I didn't know about a silent enemy called sarcopenia, muscle loss. After 60, we lose muscle mass and bone density at a terrifying speed. And once it's gone at this age, it is almost impossible to get back. The consequence? Now at 76, every time I want to get up from this soft sofa, I have to grip the armrests with both hands, brace myself, and grit my teeth just to push my body up. Sometimes my knees shoot with pain, and my legs tremble. It feels helpless. I feel like a prisoner inside my own body. Please, listen to me. Exercising at 60 is not about getting a small waist or fitting into a pretty dress for a party. Forget vanity. You exercise to maintain your freedom. You do squats so you can sit down and stand up from the toilet without needing your children to carry you. You lift weights so you can carry your own groceries without feeling useless. Don't wait until you lose your freedom to start moving. Save your muscles while you still can. The second regret involves a topic we often avoid because it feels ominous: death and legacy. I remember vividly the day my mother passed away from a sudden stroke. She left without a final word, and right after the grief came a nightmare of chaos for my siblings and me. We tore the house apart but couldn't find a will. We didn't know if she wanted to be buried or cremated. We didn't know her bank passwords or where she kept her insurance papers. My brother and I even had a screaming match in the hospital hallway because we didn't know if Mom wanted to be kept on life support or not. At that moment, I was so angry at her. I thought, why did you leave us with this mess? But then, I realized, at 60, I was doing the exact same thing to my own kids. I kept putting it off. My friends, please have those tough conversations with your children today. Write the will. Write down your passwords in a secure notebook. Be clear about your end-of-life wishes. Don't make your children wrestle with paperwork while they are grieving your loss. Organizing your exit neatly, that is the final and kindest act of love you can give to those you leave behind. We talked about the body and money, but my biggest pain lies right here, in this heart. It is the lesson of forgiveness. I used to have a brother named Frank. We were so close, but at a Christmas party when I was 62, we got into a stupid argument about politics. We were both hot-headed. Frank stormed out, and I swore to myself I wouldn't be the first one to call him. I waited for an apology, and I waited for 8 long years. Do you know what happened? The next phone call I received about Frank wasn't an apology. It was the news that he had died of a sudden heart attack. I stood in front of his casket, crying without a sound. My ego had won, but I had lost my only brother forever. I want to burn this painful lesson into your mind. Death never waits for you to stop being angry. If you are holding a grudge against someone, parents, siblings, or an old friend, please pick up the phone and call them right after this video. Don't let silence turn into eternal regret. It wasn't just my brother. I also made a grave mistake with my own daughter. This is the lesson about adult children. When my daughter went through a rough patch in her marriage, my mother bear instincts kicked in. I jumped right in. I criticized my son-in-law. I mapped out a strategy. I told her exactly what to do. I thought I was being a brilliant consultant, but my daughter didn't need a consultant. She pushed me away. And we had a Cold War that lasted 7 years, where we barely looked at each other. Mothers, please listen to me. When your children are grown, please submit your resignation as the general manager of their lives immediately. They don't need a boss to direct or judge them. They need a mom to hug them, a loyal audience member to clap for them even when they stumble. Move from the director's chair to the audience seat. Be silent and love them. Don't let over-caring kill the relationship. And finally, a wake-up call for married couples. Harold and I always said, let's wait until we are fully retired, then we will travel Europe, then we will go hiking. We kept waiting, saving our pennies, but we were wrong. My friends, the time window where you are both healthy enough to truly enjoy the world is incredibly narrow. It only lasts about 10 years, from 60 to 70. After 70, one of you will start to slow down rapidly. Knees will fail, eyes will dim, or an illness will strike. My Harold started fading when he was 72. Those hiking trips we dreamed of, they never happened. Our final years together were just hospitals and medication. If you are 60 and your partner is still healthy, go now, spend the money, hold hands, and go to the places you want to see. Don't wait for the perfect time, because time is cruel. We often prepare our finances for retirement, but no one prepares us for the mental shock. I worked as a financial advisor for 38 years. That was my pride. I was Eleanor, the senior consultant. But the day I handed in my retirement papers and walked out of that office, I suddenly felt invisible. The phone stopped ringing. No more meetings. No more business cards. I looked in the mirror and asked myself, if I don't work anymore, then who am I? Do I still have any value? I spent 3 years sinking into a mild depression and a feeling of utter uselessness. My advice is this: do not let your job become your entire human identity. Build a life outside of work right now. Find a hobby, volunteer, learn to paint before you retire, so that the day you leave your desk, you aren't stepping into a void, but stepping onto a new and exciting playground. The next realization is far more painful. It is the price of living a long life. This was my Tuesday Girls group. We were friends for 40 years, meeting every single Tuesday without fail. But do you know what? In this photo, I am the only one still alive. When you live to be 70 or 80, you have to face a pain called survivor's guilt. You look at your phone book, and the familiar names just disappear, one by one. My mistake was that I only stuck to friends my own age. My sincere advice: don't be lazy about making new friends. And most importantly, make friends with younger people. Don't just hang out with the elderly crowd. Make friends with people in their 30 seconds and 40 seconds. Their energy will pull you up, and they will keep your world from shrinking as your old friends pass away. And finally, the lesson about memory and courage. At 76, I'm starting to realize that memory is a traitor. The vibrant memories of my 60 seconds are now starting to fade like old, damaged film reels. I regret so deeply that I didn't write more in my journal. I let too many precious moments slip through my fingers. Write it down, my friends. Write down your mother's recipes. Write down your husband's bad jokes. Don't trust your memory. But alongside regret, I also learned the biggest lesson about courage. In the past, I was afraid of everything. Afraid of losing my husband. Afraid of getting sick. Afraid of getting old and wrinkled. And then, all of those things actually happened. My husband died. I got sick. My skin is wrinkled. But look at me. I am still sitting here. I am still living. I can still taste this coffee. and it tastes delicious. I realize that fear is only scary in your imagination. When the tragedy actually hits, we human beings are much stronger than we think. So, stop fearing the future, be brave, and just live. I have poured my heart out sharing the mistakes of my life with you, from the story of my aching knees to the late regret regarding my brother. But all of those things lead me to this final lesson, the most profound lesson that I only truly understand now: the cruelty of time. When you are young, time seems infinite. Summer days seem to drag on forever. But my friends, there is a brutal truth no one tells you. Time does not flow evenly. The last 20 years of your life fly by twice, even 3 times as fast as the first 60. It is exactly like a roll of toilet paper. When the roll is thick, you pull, and it takes forever to go around once. But when it gets thin, near the cardboard core, you give it one gentle tug, and it spins like crazy, and it's gone. I feel like I just blew out the candles on my 60th birthday cake yesterday. I blinked, and today I am 76. Where did those 16 years go? I honestly do not know. So, if there is only one thing I want you to carve into your heart after this long chat, it is this: age 60 is not a waiting room for you to sit and wait for old age to arrive. Don't live as if you have 1,000 years left. If you want to apologize to someone, do it now. If you want to say I love you to your partner, say it tonight. If you want to go to Paris, book the ticket while your legs can still carry you. If you want a pain-free body, stand up and exercise right now. Don't wait for tomorrow, because at this age, tomorrow is a very fragile promise. Life is very short, but it is also very beautiful if we know how to cherish it. Live mindfully in every moment. Love fiercely and forgive quickly. Don't wait until you are 76, sitting in front of a camera with white hair and sad eyes, saying those 2 words, if only, just like me today. Thank you for listening to the confessions of an old woman with many regrets. I wish you a life with no regrets. Goodbye.